Don't trade. Keep Zach. Allow the man to play. I'm holding out hope that the reason Zach is still struggling a little bit is a little mixture of incompetence at OC last year and him just getting comfortable in this offense this year. But then also he hasn't played 2 full seasons. What is he at? 26 games total in his career, Matt? Is that right? 26, 27?
26, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it's.
I don't know. I'm going to back Zach while he's our guy. And I want him to succeed because I like Zach. I feel like he tries hard. He's a easy player to like. You know, I know people don't like the press conference from last year, but I didn't feel like there was a negative intent there. I think he was just trying to get off the podium and he said the wrong thing. Everything I've seen from Zach has been positive. Like, I would take Zach Wilson 100 times over Mac Jones. Like, if you gave me the option, like, hey, you could have one of these 2 quarterbacks, I'm not taking Mac Jones. Sorry. And I know Mac Jones is a better quarterback. That's what's like frustrating.
Yeah, but he's limited and kind of a douche. So okay.
Yeah, the douche part is really the part I don't like because he's a bum. Owen comes in again, says Zach has improved, and 1 year under Rodgers, he will be great. And keep it going. We don't need Cousins. I think that's what they're hoping for. And at the very least, if it doesn't work out, then you get the high draft pick to help Rodgers and help the team long term. Because realistically, if you make a trade for Cousins, you're definitely making the playoffs, but are you a one and done type team? Do you think Cousins is good enough to go toe to toe with Allen, with Mahomes, with potentially Burrow or Lamar or any of these AFC quarterbacks that I'm sure I'm forgetting some in there? Tua, is Cousins enough to overcome those hurdles in a trade?
I don't think Cousins have ever been on a team that's been this good, even the one last year. I don't think that defense was nearly as good as this one is. Mm-hmm. Breece Hall is better than what Dalvin Cook was last year. The wide receiver room is obviously comparable, and Justin Jefferson's better, but
weapon-wise, it's pretty similar at least. I mean, they had the tight end from the Lions, right? That they traded for last year.
He's better than Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, for sure. Jefferson's better than any receiver we got right now, but you're hoping Garrett Wilson can kind of fill a similar-ish role.
That's what I mean. Like that,
Thielen and Lazard is probably ish a coin flip, maybe Thielen edge.
Thielen's career. Like Thielen 4 or 5 years ago was obviously better, but I mean Garrett's putting up 1,500 yards with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think so. That's the worst part about Rodgers going down, and that's why it hurt so much to see that. Like, I'm sorry, kid. He was gonna be special, and like this year, I feel like was stolen from him because of it. Owen comes in again, says Zach wasn't supposed to play this year. He was thrown in there on an offense set for Rodgers. He's been doing great. So I do think that there is something to this, right? Like, you have game 1, you relied on Breece to get through. Game 2, I feel like we were going to lose that regardless of how Zach felt in the offense, purely because our offensive line hadn't really gelled together at all. And the emotional roller coaster on a short week traveling across the country, it just felt like that was a bad news. The New England game was the first one where I was like, man, this really doesn't feel good.
That's the inexcusable one to me, is the New England one. The Kansas City, he played really well in, and he was okay against Denver. He wasn't great. He wasn't bad, but like, I don't know why we have to do these mental gymnastics for a quarterback 30. And if you could give up a 3rd round pick for QB 10.
Yeah, that's the piece of this whole puzzle. That's like, I guess what Owen is saying is, because of the growth trajectory where Zach could go, like Zach, his potential ceiling, while it may be a long shot for him to get there, is, I would think, dramatically better than the perceived ceiling of Kirk Cousins. Like, Kirk Cousins feels like he's kind of got this roof over his head where he's like consistently always going to get over 4,000 yards. He's going to be healthy. He can't win primetime games. There's like a negative connotation with Cousins, it feels like. And I like it because it feels like he's got a chip on his shoulder, but I understand where fans like don't like him. Like, you don't believe in him, I guess.
Yeah, I also think some of those narratives are a little overblown, because there's 53 guys on a team, and he's hasn't been a perfect quarterback. Like, he had a really bad decision in the playoff game last year against the Giants where he checked down on 4th down. Like, that's bad. We saw Zach Wilson do that on 4th down. So, like, I don't know. Like, the floor is so significantly higher. The floor is like the 15th best quarterback. The ceiling is like the 8th best quarterback. And with Zach, the floor has been like the 65th best quarterback, and the ceiling that we've seen from him so far is just like
28th.
Yeah, or let's go a little higher. In the Chiefs game, he played like probably like the 20th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I would put him somewhere between 15 and 20 if he could hold consistent play from that Kansas City game. It just felt like he was sharp and that we were calling the offense the right way, and you saw all his motion and everything. I did really like the one play, 2 plays, I guess. One with Gibson running in motion on the Breece Hall touchdown, pulled the linebacker or safety, whoever that was, off to the side, and then Breece ran untouched to the end zone. And then the other one was Garrett Wilson in motion from near side to far side on, I believe it was like a 3rd and 5. And you saw Surtain run into the other cornerback on that side. And as Garrett comes across the formation, Zach snaps the ball, and all of a sudden he's got a free release for 5 yards. It's a nice, easy play. I was like, where has that been all season? That looked like Miami football. They got guys in Miami just running wide open. There's no reason the Jets, with the talent we have, can't do something similar. Just study Miami's like plays. Just look at all of them. Just, how are they doing it? Let's try to mirror something like that because it's obviously working.
Yeah. Yep.
Owen comes in again. Says Cousins is James Harden of the NFL. Puts up great numbers but can't win in primetime. I will roll with Zach. New England. He should have not lost that game. He shouldn't have lost the New England game. But I would say this: it is a lot harder to dominate a game in the NFL because of how many variables there are compared to an NBA team with Harden. And I feel like the work ethic, maybe I'm speaking out of turn with the work ethic, but it always feels like Harden kind of like gives up. Like just, it's too tough for me. I got to go to the next team, right?
Basketball is so different. The NBA is because they bounce around teams significantly more, and you could win, like, if you have 3 stars together, you can win a championship. I don't think that's a really great comparison. He's been a quarterback who's been very good statistically, but hasn't had a ton of postseason success. This is the same shit they said about Matthew Stafford before he won a Super Bowl with the Rams too, by the way.
Yeah. Incredible arm with Stafford. Oh, he can't win. He's on a garbage team. He had Megatron for a little bit there. He couldn't get it done. Then he makes a move. New city. Now, I did think that was going to be Kirk with Minnesota. And I mean, it took they won the miracle game, right? Like, that was against the Saints, I think. The Hail Mary on the final play of the game. That was 3 years ago?
No, that was the 2018 season, I believe.
Wow, it's been that long already. I don't know.
No, maybe it was 2019.
Whatever.
No,
I mean,
maybe it was. Who the hell knows? No, but no, I'm sorry. The miracle, that wasn't Kirk Cousins who threw that. That was Case Keenum. That was 2017.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow, man, my friggin' timeline is all jacked up. Jacked up. So that was before I
watched that.
That was right as I started this channel then. Yeah. I started my channel in January of 2018, and that happened that same year. That's crazy. Feels wrong, but I guess it's right. Man. Douglas comes in. Douglas says, look at Kirk Cousins, year 3 versus Zach this year. Took Cousins to year 4 before it really clicked. Zach has a much higher upside for the long term. Yeah, but Kirk also had Kyle Shanahan as his offensive coordinator. He was the backup quarterback to RG3. He did not have nearly the pressure that Zach has on him. Like, Zach to RG3, that's the comparison that you almost have to look at. And then, like, aside from like the injury stuff, Kirk was able to Kirk to me was almost like the Mike White situation, where like Zach is close to the RG3 situation from, like, if you're using this type of comparison here. I think Kirk
in his first 3 years. Zach is 26. In his first 3 years, it was 9 starts.
Yeah, that's crazy. Totally different. Sorry, Douglas.